All right, and welcome back to another episode of the JBC podcast, where we provide you with nothing but great times and terrible takes. We appreciate everybody that's tuning in and listening. If you are listening, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you know when we're uploading. It means a lot. We really appreciate the support. And also, don't forget to smash that like button and drop a comment down below. Anything that you hear in this podcast that kind of caught your eye or you want to talk about or anything like that, please drop that down in the comments. We love reading those. So we'll go ahead and hop into today's podcast. I kind of want to start with obviously a recap of the weekend. We'll go to you, Brody, first. What was one game that kind of took you for a loop, kind of surprised you this weekend, before we go ahead and dive into conference play?
So I just wanted to say before I started, it's great to have SEC football back.
Yes, sir.
It's been a long road, but we're finally here. It's time to have some just outstanding games. I'm looking forward to the rest of the year.
Real football?
Yeah. With that being said, the outcome of the game, it's the Georgia-Arkansas game. The outcome of the game wasn't really that surprising. But, it could have been a lot worse. That was the surprise for me. They come out in the first half. Arkansas does. They get a stop. Pretty sure Georgia got the ball first. And they get a stop. And we score on our first drive. Looks fantastic. Offense looks great. Defense looked great. Held them. Went down the field and scored. And I thought we were going to do that the entire game. But the offense... the offense...
That worked out.
Struggled, which you can blame it on certain things, like their punter just absolutely destroyed us. The biggest thing for me was seeing the defense continuously stop Georgia.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think any Arkansas fan before the season, unless I guess you were really close and you somehow just knew that the defense was going to be that solid against Georgia. That's the biggest part to me is the defense literally just standing up to Georgia the entire first half. And then I think in the second half, like you were saying the other day, they just probably looked at the offense and was like, well, what are you going to do?
I know.
Guess I'm not going to play.
You're holding the number 4 team in the country to 5 points through basically 3 quarters. And
you're literally just sitting there saying, help me.
Yeah.
Please.
They're going 3 and out every possession.
Yeah.
And you can blame that on a new offensive coordinator, but Barry Odom was a new defensive coordinator, came in and absolutely just
put
his foot down, and it's been 4 years of the same 3 and out, pick 6, 3 and out, pick 6. It's frustrating.
I don't understand that. And that first drive, when they would pass the ball, which they had to, because I don't think we had any rushing yards hardly.
No.
Especially in the first half. I think we had like 12. But whenever we threw the ball, we threw it down the field.
Yeah.
In the first half, or at least for a while. But what I don't understand is over half of Felipe Frank's pass attempts were at the line of scrimmage or behind. I'm not a fan. I don't like that. I want Felipe to attack down the field. That's what I want to see.
You don't want to see a Kansas City type offense?
There's a difference.
There is a big difference there.
Big difference.
Yeah.
So wait, I just got one question. You were at the game after the half, or before the half, when half was starting. What was the mood in the stadium?
Well, it was fine. We were all happy, just hunky-dory, until we tried to kick a field goal. If you remember, we went down there to kick a field goal, and we were just inside of field goal range. I think it was 54 yards.
Yeah.
Brought out the kicker to kick, and we got a delay of game.
Okay, yeah.
So we were all yelling and screaming because we didn't call a timeout. Well, I listened to the press conference, and Sam Pittman said that everybody was on the ball And looking back, I'm pretty sure they all were. They were all ready and everything, just did not snap it. So that's was kind of a miscommunication there. And then, you know, we still had 2 timeouts, and they went down and kicked a field goal, but we called a timeout, and he missed.
Yeah. Oh man, not
That's
only
just
So
horrible.
wait, did that make you
Like-
more mad, or what about the safety? Which one made you mad? More mad?
Well, the safety sucked, but, you know, the defense was playing so good that it really wasn't that big of a deal. You know, it would have been if they wouldn't have stopped them. They definitely had the momentum at that time, but the defense, you know.
That was a
Just
trick
held
play,
them up.
right? That they tried to.
Yeah.
So
gosh,
wait,
bro.
so didn't the other trick play turn into an interception?
Yes.
Okay, so you think Sam Pittman's trick plays probably suck ass?
Yeah, I don't think it's Sam Pittman. I think it's Kendall
Oh, the
Giles.
offense coordinator?
No,
Yeah.
No. I think it's the execution. Like, I mean,
Well, that
Georgia
is true.
and also too playing Georgia like one of the better defenses of the nation, and they're just so fast, like, and they're disciplined. So that, what was it, a double reverse? What we were
Yeah.
trying?
Yeah.
You could see the left end. He bit, but he was so disciplined and he's fast enough that he recognized TJ like coming around the bag, so he was able to put his foot in the ground and cut back and disrupt it. But I think it was more of like bobbling the ball, and then you just see it going into the end zone, and then you're just like hoping for a safety, not a touchdown. And
Luckily, you're winning the back.
I think the
Yeah.
thing that made us the most mad was the one where Traylon Burks
Just
threw
threw
the
it.
pick.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
threw it. We were literally all sitting there like, dude, if it's not open, just throw it out or something. Get out
Yeah.
of bounds
Well,
or
I mean,
something.
he's a sophomore playing against.
He's
Georgia,
a sophomore
and-
receiver throwing
Yeah,
the ball.
exactly.
So
He wants to win the game. The
Yeah.
field goal made me more mad than the safety. The safety, you're just like sitting
I didn't
there, like,
care
you're like,
as
what are
long
you
as they
doing?
didn't get a touchdown out of it. You know,
Yeah.
if it's a
Well-
safety, whatever.
Well, the problem is that's where the momentum swung. Like,
Yeah.
we called a timeout. He hit the upright and missed, so we're up 7-2. And then, of course, called the timeout, so he gets to re-kick and he makes it. And so then they get a little bit of momentum. And I mean, I agree with that. Props to the defense for keeping it close. They did as best they could, but little check down, screen pass, run for no gain,
Not
and then
gonna
a check
work.
down to the running back for 3 and out every possession's not going to get us
gonna cut
anywhere. So
Oh, no.
I don't know, but I was listening to the I think it was just a post game interview with Grant actually, and he was just saying like that the defense felt good, and obviously, I mean, they looked good. So at least
It looked a
that's
lot better
one
than they
side-
did last
I was
year.
about to say that's one side of the ball that we can look to. The other two, especially special teams, where they like,
We're sitting there like,
is he going to get past
Yeah.
midfield on this one? Like their
Yeah.
average, I think at one point it was like our average starting point was like on our own 14, and theirs was on like the 40.
Oh,
And
no.
like,
The
and it was still we were still winning 7-5.
So your
at that
kicker
point.
couldn't flip the field?
No,
Your
he
punter?
could. It was just
They
like
run it,
well,
or?
I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm saying
when
like
we were
their
on offense,
special
we
teams.
got nowhere.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
their
that's what
special
you're
teams. Yeah, like we're on the 14-yard line. We go 3 and out.
saying. Yeah.
So
we kick it,
we kick it,
and
and it may
chances
get to
are
the
they
30
get
or the
it.
40.
Yeah.
But there was that one time when he returned it all the way down to like the 20. Like our special teams coverage was just
Horrible.
slacking a little bit. So I think if we cut that down, that'll help. But it's solely on the offense.
Yeah.
You know, the offense has got to figure something out. And,
Hey, defense wins championships. That's all I'm gonna say.
well,
they
You
kept
gotta
us
have a
in
little
it forever.
offense.
I mean, you got to have a little offense.
You gotta
can't
have
go-
somewhat
you
of
can't
an
go 3
offense.
because I mean we don't have the depth that Georgia has. So like while
Oh,
they're playing,
definitely not.
Grant said that he was feeling good after the game, but I know like those dudes had to be tired.
Oh yeah.
Like the offense was
Yeah.
on the field for a minute and a half, and then they're giving Georgia the ball.
I wonder what the time of possession was.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
It was
was
like
that
they were
bad?
almost
Yeah.
triple our time by like the end of the
Oh.
game.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
In the
That's not
first-
good then.
In the first half, I think they were ahead by like 6 minutes, maybe.
And then the second half, it was a lot different.
Ridiculous.
oh man, it's probably more than that. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm with you on that one. No surprises from Georgia being able to come back out
No.
at half, make adjustments. That's where
I'll be honest. I thought Georgia was gonna come out swinging and get it done early, but
Yeah.
y'all put up a fight against them.
yeah, we definitely.
I bet y'all scared Kirby. I bet y'all put a little fear into him.
I listened
Oh.
to his post game interview
He
too,
could-
and he said he was like, you got to give Arkansas credit. We played sloppy, but they played a factor in that, and they forced us to find our identity. They
Yeah.
forced us to find the quarterback that that we got to roll with, and so
The only thing that would have
good.
helped y'all out was taking advantage of them playing sloppy with your offense, but your offense did not take advantage of all that.
Like, the problem that I saw is whenever we would get positive yards, we would run like a no huddle deal.
Yeah.
If we did get a yards or first down or something. And that's how Felipe threw his first pick, I'm pretty sure. Ran the play action and then just threw it way too far out in front. We got to pick the next play, of course. But, that's one of the things that I think I saw with the quarterback play is I don't think Felipe needs to run no huddle. I think he gets way too ahead of himself and doesn't.
What did he do?
His reads
what did he do at Florida? Florida's a no huddle too.
I don't think that was the problem. I think it was him coming off the injury, so he was still a little, and all the pressure.
And plus, it's a new. You're in a new system, and there's no preseason, so it's not like.
Yeah, but I mean, he's coming off like a season-ending injury, and he's playing against Georgia, so he was under pressure, so he was probably a little bit, I don't want to say hesitant to play to his full ability, but he was probably playing a little bit easy, a little bit scared. When I dislocated my ankle, I came back the next game and it was sore after the first play. Yeah. So I was worried that I was gonna hurt it again right after. So I think he was playing a little bit scared after the first week, but maybe they can get in, practice this week and be like, look, dude, you're fine. Settle in. We got the first game jitters out of the way. Playing against Mississippi State, whose defense isn't as good as Georgia, so maybe we'll be able to put up some more yards. I want to see Rakeem. Seeing Rakeem have under 30 yards rushing,
It saddens me.
It kind of worried me. And that must mean the offensive line has to be atrocious if Sam Pittman came in here as an offensive line coach and he still can't even help them.
Yeah.
That's what worries me. Of course, again, you got to say in the back of your mind, it's Georgia. So let's just hope that
they're good at every position. I mean, it's
let's just hope that that was a fluke. But
yeah,
I agree with you. All right, Chris, what about you? What game? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm pretty sure we all know it, but
it was Mississippi State. Honestly, surprising me this week. I mean, when Leach came in, I didn't think his offense that he likes to run, throwing it down, throwing it everywhere, was going to work. Definitely at Mississippi State.
Yeah.
But I guess when you have the best running back in the country, I mean, you can't stop him. But you got to also grant that he was playing against, the LSU team that lost 17 people, players, and they lost basically everyone on defense that was a leader. And there's only going to be two people on defensive backs that were there from last year. One of them being the best cornerback in the country. Yeah. He was in the hospital the night before, so he couldn't play. Yeah. I mean, that was a big loss, so it could have been a little different, but you had Jacoby Stevens, who played a different role that never played. He did what Grant Delpit did, as in, rushing and all that. But what surprised me is, Mississippi State took advantage of that, and, we played man the whole time. I guess our new defense coordinator hasn't learned what SEC football is yet. But
where did he come from?
I think Nebraska. Nebraska or Wisconsin.
Well,
I'm not very sure.
We know
it's
all about Big Ten schools coming to SEC.
But I mean,
hey, if it's Big Ten defense, that shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, but
Big Ten offense, yikes.
What surprised me though, also with the LSU defense of losing, was we had two transfers. I think there were two transfers. One was from North Dakota, and I forgot where the other one was. But they balled out. They looked insanely good. One took a pick six back, and that was a big change momentum. From Mississippi State, their defense did not look impressive though. But I think Miles Brennan for LSU is horrible. I'm not on that train.
One game, man.
Yeah, I mean,
better first game than Joe Burrow.
Okay, but the difference was Joe Burrow was just now there. Miles Brennan's been there for 4 years.
True.
So the thing about it, I mean, I think Mississippi State's offense will be really good. Their defense not maybe so good, but Mississippi State did surprise me with that. That offense of theirs, 600 yards, pretty good.
He threw for 650.
Yeah, 650. That's insane.
So
single game record.
And Arkansas gets the pleasure of playing them this Saturday. So that's
if your defense played like they did last against Georgia, y'all should be all right
for the first half.
But
that's what I'm saying. Hopefully we get to see some sort of offensive production.
Well, if y'all play man to man against them like we did, you're probably gonna get smoked. Because that's what. But Mississippi State, they have the running back Hill.
Yeah.
If you stop him, you're not gonna stop their pass, and then once you stop their pass, you're not gonna stop him. So basically, it's your defense has to be on point throughout the whole game.
Yeah. Hopefully it will. That definitely surprised me too, though. Mississippi State coming out, and I think we all owe Mr. Jordan Rogers an apology. I'm not a huge fan of him because he just hates on Arkansas like 24/7. But he came out and said Mississippi State was going to come shock the defending national champs in Death Valley, and they did. So
the game was
I
a
think
lot.
we all were like, I don't see any way Mississippi State winning this game. Mike Leach hasn't. I remember Brody was like, Mike Leach ain't seen no LSU SEC offense, or he ain't gonna know what to do on both sides of the ball.
Deer in headlights.
And
nope.
I mean, the game LSU made a good run at the end, and got like a fumble, interception. They were making a comeback, and Mississippi State just pulled away. So that's gonna be Mississippi State would be interesting to watch this year. I'll say that.
Yeah, I guess the game that shocked me the most outside of those games would be A&M and Vandy.
Oh, yeah.
The reason being because I'm pretty sure it was 7-5 at half as well because we were watching the game, or maybe that was the Tennessee-South Carolina game. Either way, the A&M only ended up winning 17-12 at home against Vandy.
Yeah.
And people are saying Kellen Mond is supposed to be –
It was 7-5.
It was 7-5? Okay, yeah. And people were saying Kellen Mond's like a dark horse to win the Heisman, and I brought that up last episode, and I was like, you guys see that Jimbo Fisher's a good quarterback coach. And
I did say Kellen Mond is not good.
I don't necessarily think he's that good. I mean, he threw for 189 a touchdown, no picks. I mean, that's
against Vanderbilt.
But against Vanderbilt and
Vanderbilt, that's
the Arkansas of the East.
Yeah,
and it was at A&M.
I know that's what I'm
saying. I mean, I guess,
yeah,
but still, that game. I mean, that game's a big shocker. Like,
I think
did Vandy get a little bit better this year, or did A&M just not A&M?
I don't know. I mean, you could pin it on Vandy getting better, but like Arkansas, they shocked Georgia in the first half. So like anything in week one, like you don't know what's gonna happen. So I think it was good for A&M to wake them up, kind of be like, dude, we're the 10th ranked team in the country, and we barely beat the worst team in the East. I would say in the SEC overall, but I think Arkansas, until they win a game, still
that'd be a good game. SEC or Arkansas versus Vandy.
I don't even want to play Vandy, dude. We're gonna lose.
Battle of the Scrubs.
Yeah, exactly. But
that'd be the Toilet Bowl.
Yeah.
Outside of Vanderbilt winning, that was just the only thing that it was a 5-point game at the end. So that's what surprised me the most. But like the rest of the games, Florida, Ole Miss. I guess it was closer. I mean, it wasn't even that close. It was 51-30.
I think it was close, kind of like at first.
No, I mean Florida kind of pulled away like at halftime. Kyle Trask was pretty darn good, and Lane Kiffin. Is he on his burner? No, dude. Lane Kiffin.
Yeah. Well, Florida went off.
I hope we demolished.
On the burner about
Kyle
Trask.
The refs. I saw so many tweets about the refs saying ever since 2009 or whatever, the refs have been helping Florida win ball games, and I was like, dude. I mean, they don't need no help.
He said that on his burner?
No.
Oh.
I think it was one of
He
our
probably
buddies.
did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Find his account.
I think like what?
Blaming the refs, but I mean Florida, not necessarily surprising that they whooped Ole Miss. But speaking of the refs, the Kentucky Auburn game, I don't understand how that touchdown call did not get made or overturned. I just don't understand. And for those of you that don't know, like. So Kentucky's driving down the field. It's 8-7. Was this in the first quarter or the second quarter?
It was like before half.
It was definitely before half. So yeah, it was in the second quarter. It was like right before half.
Yeah.
So it's 8-7. Auburn's up. They're driving down. Kentucky's driving down the field, and they score. I mean, hands it off, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, whole entire body.
Except for his like one ankle.
Yeah, whole entire body, ball and everything. He wasn't down.
Yeah,
he was
full
in.
body now.
They called him short, and we're like, how's it not a touchdown? But then they were like, we're going to go review it. They showed the replay. And we're all sitting there, and we're like, okay, they're going to review it. That's a touchdown. Let's flip back over to the Florida Ole Miss game. And then I think we returned after half, and we were watching.
No, I saw it on Twitter. I said, do you know there was a pick that got overturned? Because the next play there was a pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, well, we flip back to the game, and it's 8-7.
Yeah.
Still. And then you get on Twitter,
Yeah,
and
that's when I see the pick.
You see the play where, like...
Yeah, the very next play of that, after that touchdown was not overturned, it should have been. The guy threw the pick, and...
threw a pick six.
Yeah.
And then they called it back due to targeting.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there...
Makeup call.
Yeah,
it was
target?
Yeah, it was targeting. I'm just sitting there like... I don't understand how you're an SEC crew, and especially the replay crew, when like you have all the angles that we do, and we can clearly see that it was a touchdown. I don't understand. The only thing that I can logically think of is that they were saying the knee was down, even though there was at least 6 to 8 inches of like.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the ball crossed the plane first.
Yeah,
no matter what.
So I don't understand how if you're Greg Sankey, I don't understand how you keep that crew. I don't understand how you don't fire them. I don't understand. Like my mind can't. I can't wrap my mind around that.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. I mean that costs Kentucky the momentum, because at that point it's 14-8 or 15-8, and they have the momentum going into the half.
Yeah.
And instead, they flip it around, and I know you can say, well, it was 15-13 at one point. Kentucky was driving, and their quarterback fumbled the ball, and Auburn ended up getting on it. And you could say that was the swing in momentum, but I think you never know what could happen. If Kentucky gets that touchdown call and they're up 14-8, things could play out completely different. So
yeah, they could possibly go on to win that game.
Yeah. I think that was huge, and that sucks for Kentucky, because I picked them to win, and I think if they get that touchdown call, it's not even a what if it was a touchdown. It was a touchdown. They just simply flat out did not give it to him, and I think
some money had been paid.
I guess Gus went over there to the refs, and he was like, "Look, Chad Morris has no idea what he's doing on offense, so the only way that
we need some help.
We need some help. Here's a
please."
I know this is a touchdown.
This guy over here is talking about hammering down.
Yeah.
I ain't about it.
Yeah.
Here's 1,000.
That pisses me off for like Kentucky. If I'm a Kentucky fan, I'm heated. And you can always be like, well, they should have came back and, handled it differently. The fumble, well, if they didn't fumble, they still could have went down and scored and taken the lead there, and the momentum still would have been in their hands. But I mean, while that's true, that still sucks. That's hard to overcome when you're just sitting there. And I'm sure they're in halftime, and Coach Stoops was sitting there like, all right, guys, get that out of your head. That's in the past. Come on, let's come out firing. They were still probably sitting there like, dude.
Yeah.
This is rigged.
Yeah.
Are we just destined to lose this due to tampering?
Yeah, literally. That's what I felt like it was tampering.
The one thing that I will say, I'm pretty sure. No, I did pick Auburn, but I picked Kentucky as a dark horse. I'm pretty sure to win the East. Mm-hmm. Kentucky is still a great team, I think, in my opinion. But I just want to say the one thing that I like the most from that game is Chad Morris getting chewed out by Gus.
Oh, I know, dude. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was absolutely beautiful. And to no surprise, Alabama absolutely stomps Missouri. Our boy Rick Jones did not get the dub.
No.
I mean, I didn't think he was going to be honest with you, but there's always a little bit of hope.
There's always hope.
Their quarterback looked like he was literally a deer in headlights. He looked like he was scared for his life. He didn't know what he had to do.
I would be.
That's true, especially with Dylan Moses coming back. I think that helps Alabama's defense tremendously. I think he was a big key piece in their defense last year when he went out. I think that definitely hurt him. So having him back is huge, and Alabama show that they're still one of the better teams in the nation. And then the last game of the night was Tennessee-South Carolina, which was actually one heck of a game.
Hey, we said Tennessee was going to win.
We did. You said
Jones said South Carolina.
Okay, you said you weren't on the Tennessee train.
Yeah.
And we were saying, I'm pretty sure was it you that picked South Carolina?
I picked South Carolina, but I said I liked Tennessee.
Right. No, I'm saying to like your dark horse.
Yeah, South Carolina was with Tennessee right there.
I still think South Carolina's a solid team in the East. So with them beating South Carolina at South Carolina, are you on the Tennessee train yet, or are you?
Hell no, he ain't on Tennessee train.
No.
It's gonna take a couple more weeks of.
Yes.
Okay.
He's an Arkansas fan.
The reason why is because South Carolina literally had a chance.
Oh, they did.
And they blew it.
Oh, they did. It was
they absolutely blew it.
South Carolina should have won that game.
Yeah.
You're right.
at least had a chance. The only thing you could argue is I think there was like a minute 30 left, but they didn't have any timeouts. So the only reason why they wouldn't win it is they throw a pick or get sacked or something like that. But no, they're one of their guys that's blocking just so happened to run straight into the ball.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
The ball bounced into him.
Okay.
I should say.
I was gonna ask you exactly what happened at the end because I fell asleep and my dad texted me, like when it happened. I woke up to it. He was like, "Did you watch the South Carolina game?" I was like, "No," and he was like, "What a sucky way to end." And
so yeah, that's what happened. The South Carolina stopped Tennessee, and they were punting, and the outside guys had already went back and everything. Returner's going to catch the ball, and then he notices one of his guys that's blocking for him is right next to it. The ball hits the ground and hits him in the back of the leg, and doesn't turn around or anything. The punt returner just rips his helmet off and just runs over to their sideline. Doesn't talk to anybody. I'd be the same way. I'd be mad as hell.
I don't blame him. You had a chance to beat him, so that is a Tennessee way to win a ball game.
Yes.
But
A win's a win.
They play Missouri this week, so I would assume they're going to win that game, and then the week 3 is their I believe they play Georgia, right?
Taking Missouri.
Taking Missouri. Yeah. I think they play Georgia week 3, so that'll be like their actual test. And if they keep that game close or somehow win that game, then I think you got to hop on the train. But until then, I think we don't know. I mean,
I'm on Tennessee's train more than I am on Miles Brennan's train.
Yeah. Before we get into a couple of questions, one other game that surprised me.
Oh, we all know.
I don't even know if it's.
We all know what it is.
Realistically, it surprised me because I thought there was no way it was going to win, but it also didn't because it happened last year. In a very similar
Oklahoma
fashion
versus Kansas
Oklahoma
State.
and Kansas State. Oklahoma or Choklahoma. Absolutely choking the fire out of that.
Hey, Rattler started choking on that at the very end.
I mean, he had a good game. He was like at one point he had 2 incompletions and they were both picks.
Yeah.
He was like 27 of 29 with 4 TDs and 2 picks. So I mean, again, you're playing Kansas State though, so I guess that's their kryptonite. I mean, they were up 21 points in the third quarter, and there was a stat that we were talking about, like ranked teams when leading in the third quarter were like unranked teams when they were down by 21 in the third quarter were 1 in like 550 or something like that, and in the fourth quarter they were like 1 in 740.
Yeah,
and they pulled it off.
Kansas State went down and scored on like 5 or 6 straight possessions.
Yeah,
it was like touchdown.
That's that Big 12 defense.
Touchdown. Yeah, it's that Big 12 defense.
Yikes.
There was no. There was 2 scoring plays I remember like vividly. One was to a little running back. He just kind of ran like it was kind of one of those like release where you come up to block, nobody's there, you release and go like turn around. He caught the ball at like 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, and I guess the camera angle, there wasn't a single Oklahoma defender on the screen until he went into the end zone. And I'm just sitting there
seems about right.
So that's what Kendall Briles is thinking whenever he's running those plays.
I guess. I mean, how are you the 3rd-ranked team in the country? You get to the playoffs,
every year. Or
and
recently.
Your defense looks like that. Like, I don't understand that. That just
because
blows
Big 12.
my mind. I mean, yeah, it's the Big 12. I guess they're notorious for that, but that just blew my mind. And then the other Big 12 game that hurt my heart was Texas pulling off the dub against Texas Tech.
I know.
They barely pulled it
dub
in overtime.
They were up like Texas Tech was up 15 or 16 points with like 3 minutes left, and they kick it off. So Texas goes down and scores, gets the onside. Goes down and scores with like 40 seconds left on the clock. And then I think Texas Tech got sacked out of field goal range and they went into OT. But they just choked in OT.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you can't choke. I think it was instant karma whenever that dude went like horns down in the end zone whenever they went up 16 points. And he went horns down in the end zone. And, of course, you see him all over Twitter now. That didn't age well.
Because we're back.
Yeah, Texas, we're back. I mean, dude. That game was, you talk about no defense, 63 to like 58 or whatever it was. Talk about no defense.
Absolutely running and gunning.
The Big 12, exactly.
Elite.
Yeah, exactly, elite. Well, that's pretty much a recap of the weekend. Outside of, there wasn't really any other games. Louisville lost to Pitt, which Pitt's 3-0, so.
Who knows? They may make it.
They may give Clemson a run for their money.
Hopefully.
May take a OU spot at the end.
Well, realistically, though, I think it's Miami right now in the
Oh,
ACC.
yeah.
Dude, Miami with De'Aaron King is at least. They played Louisville, who was ranked. I think they were prematurely ranked inside the top 25 because they got beat by Miami and Pitt now, and Miami really hasn't played anybody outside of Louisville.
Yeah.
They played Florida State this weekend, so nothing
Boy,
crazy.
That's a good one.
They're absolutely destroying.
Yeah.
So I think maybe they can give Clemson a run for their money. North Carolina.
I think that's going to be a good game.
Yeah, for sure. So that's nice. And then I think Cincinnati, they're inside the top 15. They beat Army.
Yeah.
So they're looking solid up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, there wasn't any really shocking games to me this weekend.
No.
Kind of looking forward to just next weekend, the weekend after that, get rolling back into some college football. I can only take so much of NFL. I really only check that for fantasy. So I'm glad some college football's back. But with that being said, I guess we can hop into a couple questions. We started with Chris. You were first last time, right?
Mm-hmm. That's how we're
All right, man. We'll go ahead and start with you, Brody. You got what's a question for us?
So after this weekend, of course, we got to see how SEC quarterbacks would play. So I'm just going to hop right into it with the quarterback situation. Who, after this week, do you predict on having the better year overall? Kyle Trask or Costello from Mississippi State?
You want me to start?
Yeah,
okay. I think Trask, and the reason why I'll say that is because I think, how do you say his name? Costello?
Yeah,
Costello, he played a very young LSU defense that went straight to man the whole game. So, yeah, he popped off. But the thing is, what is he going to do against a team that, people have experience playing in? And, what about when he goes against Alabama? You think he's going to be able to throw that much yards against them? Or like Georgia, you think he's going to be able to throw that much yard? I think he just had played a very young defense.
Inexperienced defense.
Yeah, so there's one leader on that defensive side in the backs. It's so hard to control everybody. So I'm gonna think Trask will have a better season than Costello.
I would agree with you, simply for the fact that LSU hadn't seen anything like Mike Leach offense, and they obviously hadn't seen any film on Costello because he came from Stanford.
Yeah.
So you don't have any film on him outside of Stanford. Yeah, you could go watch his film at Stanford, but that's a completely different scheme.
Yeah.
That's not anything like what they're running here. So now we have a game of film on him. And Kyle Trask has been doing this for a year, and he absolutely lit up Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I know Ole Miss isn't the best team in the country, but Ole Miss is still an SEC school. They're still respectable, and he went out there and lit them up again. So I think, at least right now, I still think Kyle Trask is going to have the better year. Mm-hmm. But KJ could come out there and surprise us again. And, it's not going to surprise me if he throws for 700 against Arkansas. That's not going to surprise me.
Breaking the single game record 2 weeks in a row. You heard it here first, folks.
We're going to have to wait until he actually plays
the team. I was
about
to say, if he does that against, Alabama, and, I don't know if they play Georgia or not.
I don't know
Florida.
Either.
But, if he does that, or even like an A&M squad, if he does that consistently, he's putting up 400 yards a game, then I can see that him having a better year. But I like Kyle Trask at least right now.
Yeah, because Kyle Trask has been here for a year.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. Kyle Trask or KJ Costello, better year?
Yeah.
I'm taking Costello.
Taking Costello?
I am.
Why are you taking him?
I can't stand you. I hate Mike Leach.
Wait. Why are you taking him?
Tweeted out. Did you see what he tweeted out? We were talking about LSU. We didn't schedule.
No, he said it. He didn't tweet it. He said it.
Oh, what did he say?
In a post-game interview.
The reason we played LSU was because what was it, the Chiefs?
He said Patriots and Chiefs or whatever were scheduled.
Oh my god!
I can't stand that man, dude. Why are you taking Costello?
He's a goober, but I think with the offense that they are running now at Mississippi State, the thing is, I think a lot of people are going to be more focused on stopping Kylan Hill because you can probably say Kylan Hill is probably the best back or supposed to be the best back in the SEC this year.
Yeah.
They're probably going to play more men in the box this year, which is going to allow Costello to probably throw the ball down the field in one-on-ones a lot more. That is my reasoning, and also Mike Leach is your coach, and Mike Leach is going to run that spread offense and probably take shots all day.
I just want to say this. Since he did that against LSU, you don't think teams are going to now go play against Costello and give Hill the better games?
Well, plus, too, you got to think, the corners are inexperienced.
Well, I know, but I'm saying, they're going to watch film and see LSU just ran man. They're going to start running zone, and they'll stop them.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, the one-on-one.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But Alabama and the teams that have maybe, some juniors.
That's what I don't think. They're going to watch how he threw, and they're going to stop him from doing what he's doing.
Yeah, and if they play zone, Mike Leach will probably run something else, I'm sure. Run different passing plays to get people open whenever they run a zone.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You never know. It's very possible that he could come out and, win the freaking
Either way, Ole Miss's defense isn't great either.
Yeah.
Even though I still think, even though LSU has to rebound a lot of guys this year, I'd probably put LSU's defense over Ole Miss's.
That's a tough take.
Yeah.
That's a tough take.
Again,
if you had, like I said, if LSU, we would have had Derek Stingley, it could have been a lot different. That's a guy who came as a true freshman that lit up the whole world. So that game could have been a whole lot different. But
I'm telling you,
thing is, we'll never know.
It was because of the different scheme, and they have no film on this guy. That's why he was able to pop off. And
plus, our coach didn't decide, hey, actually, no. What conference Stanford in? They're in the
Pac-12.
Pac-12, yeah. Okay, never mind.
Exactly. He went from that's one thing that's kind of crazy is that he went from averaging 150 passing yards a game, to just threw for 650. Yeah. So I think it's just being in a different scheme, having no film on him. We'll have to see. Like I said, it's very possible. You never know.
Just have to wait until he plays.
Yep. Yeah.
Who they play next week?
Arkansas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind. We're gonna have to wait another week.
That's what we're saying. We're gonna have to wait another week. So.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe Arkansas might
Who's
surprise.
Florida have?
I don't know, but. Well, y'all look that up, I guess.
I don't want to look it up. I was looking at something.
We'll go ahead and move to your question. But yeah, like I said, Kyle Trask or KJ Costello down.
Where do they play?
South Carolina.
Yeah.
So 4 weeks.
We might.
Or 3 weeks. We have to wait.
Wait, who do they have after that?
Okay, but anyway, so
they play A&M after that. So
okay, well we're gonna wait a little bit. Okay, so my first question was already answered earlier because you answered it.
Which one was that?
The whole if the game would have been different with the Kentucky touchdown.
Oh yeah.
But we already talked about that, so I'm just gonna go ahead with the other question. And okay, so with Oklahoma losing, it kind of refers to my last question on the last podcast. Oklahoma losing. Do you think if the loser of Florida and Georgia? Okay. Let me rephrase this. Okay, I'm getting too far in my head. So Oklahoma lost this weekend, and Florida and Georgia both won. They're both in the East, and they're both good. Do you think a one-loss team in the East has a better chance to make the playoffs than Oklahoma losing against Kansas State if Georgia beat Florida or Florida beat Georgia?
I'll go first. I think so. I know it's the first game of the year, and it's coming off of the pandemic. I don't think we can say the actual word, but the actual pandemic is coming. And everything that's going on. But to Kansas State at home, who got beat by who? Arkansas State?
Yeah.
Exactly. Kansas State lost to Arkansas State, and then comes out and comes back from a 21-point deficit and beats Oklahoma. That can't happen, and you can't be in the playoffs, especially. This isn't the Big Ten. You remember when Ohio State got in after they got beat by who was that? I think it was Pittsburgh. No, who was that? Purdue. They lost to Purdue.
Yeah.
They got smoked by Purdue.
Yeah.
And they still ended up getting in. But that's different. That's the Big Ten. They play a lot better teams than Oklahoma plays. So I think. But again, it all boils down to do you want to see the 4 best teams or the 4 most deserving? So if Oklahoma's
they're going to want to see the 4 best. You want the best.
Well, if Oklahoma's a 1-loss Big 12 champion, and the other, like you're saying, like Georgia. So let's say Alabama wins the SEC,
Yeah.
and that's Georgia or Florida's only loss. That's where you get down to like, well, I mean, the Power 5 champion or Florida Georgia that looks better. That's why I think you got to expand the playoff, because first, I think it's stupid that not all 5 Power 5 champions have a chance at the playoff.
That is.
I think that's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless if you think whoever wins Pac-12 and whoever wins the Big 12, like they had no shot, still Power 5 conference, still Power 5 conference champion, they at least should have a shot.
Yeah.
And then the non-Power 5, like a school like Memphis or somebody like that, I think they would deserve a shot. So I think at least a 16 playoff with 1 and 2 having a bye week, but an 18 would be fine. No more than that, because any team outside the top 8, like come on, no way they really have a
Well, I
real
mean,
shot.
the number of 1 through 3 teams, 1 through 4 separate the 5 through 8.
I know, but I'm saying
Because the one team, you think the 8
you
team
can't
can
even
beat the
say-
1 team?
You can't even say that, because I mean so let's say Oregon and Oklahoma, like, I mean sure, but that one year Oklahoma gave Georgia a run for their money.
Yeah.
I mean it was like a 3-point game. So
That was Baker year, wasn't it?
yeah. So that's why I think you should at least have all 5 of the Power 5 conference champions in the playoff.
Okay.
You know,
I mean, yeah, I agree, but we can keep talking about it, but
I don't,
it will
I
never
don't
get
think-
changed.
I don't think it's gonna happen. So then you can't make.
I mean, this
everybody
year would be
happy.
perfect because not everybody's playing
Yeah.
that many games this year. It's like
Yeah,
the Easter.
exactly. I think this year will be a big influencer.
This year
when-
could be a
when
good
it comes
test
to
of
it.
what it would be like.
Yeah,
But
I don't know if they can switch up in mid-season, because I think I don't know how that contract and all that works. Like with the.
I don't know if they. Yeah,
I don't know how any of that works, but it would be a good year because ACC or the Pac-12's playing 7 or 8 games. The Big 10's playing like
Yeah.
7 or 8 games.
Yeah.
SEC's playing 10. ACC's playing 11 or 12. So
it's all weird. But
exactly, I think this will be this will be a big deciding year whether or not
yeah.
teams get in. But
I'm taking whoever's in the East over Oklahoma.
yeah, see
That's what I-
we may be biased.
If
but
that happens,
No, I still
now,
would rather the best 4
You could
teams.
you could also argue it the other way in a different conference. What if it's Clemson and Miami? Are they in the same region or division?
I don't think they have a split like a East. or
They don't
West.
have a split.
I don't
So
think
it's
they're not
just
like
2
East and
best
West.
teams for the conference, right?
I think that's only Big 12. The ACC has a
Do they have an East and a West?
no, it's not an East and a West, but
Like a
it's-
North and a South?
It is. Actually, you are right.
It's 2 best teams.
Yeah, it's the 2
Yeah, I
best
would
teams.
say I don't think they
Okay,
had an East
so
and a
you could
West.
argue the same thing with. Well, I
Hey,
guess
you always
probably
forget
not.
about Notre Dame, but
I guess you couldn't really because like.
One of them
if-
would have to lose to a crap team in the ACC.
What if Clemson and Miami play each other and Clemson's probably going to win, and then they meet each other again in the championship, and then Miami wins?
yeah, that's what we were talking
Oh,
about
yeah, that's fair.
last year or 2 years. That's what happens every time with the SEC. Like Alabama and LSU play, and
You would have to
all
look
that.
at more the thing of who had a harder schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And again, I think it's the ACC because with North Carolina, Notre Dame, Miami,
yeah.
Pitt, all of them playing.
I think, and I know it's been tradition. Maybe they should redo the conference and add teams to certain conference or start moving teams around. Because you have Clemson, who's powerhouse in the ACC. Maybe they should get moved to maybe the Big 12 or maybe another conference to where they actually
They'd
compete.
never lose another game.
Okay, maybe
Except for
okay,
OU,
well,
maybe.
What about Big 10? They could get into the Big 10. Someone could switch them. You know what I mean? Kind of like what Missouri and A&M did when they came to the SEC.
Well, possibly. I just think they need to expand the playoffs.
Oh, I agree, but I'm talking about you have all these powerhouse teams. Well, not all these, but Clemson. Clemson probably just needs to, get into the Big 10, get into a conference to where it stands out. Because I mean, you look at Oklahoma. Oklahoma has been in the playoffs 3 years in a row and hasn't even got past the first round.
Yeah.
I mean, because they don't play anybody. I mean, you got Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is, average. They could be really good, but they're usually not. And then you have Baylor. Other than them, you have mediocre Texas, who thinks they're always back every time they freaking win a bowl game. So it's more of the things like if you want these playoffs to be more correct, you need to get these teams in the right conference, or they need to start playing harder teams.
I was about to say, I think it's scheduling. Instead of scheduling these cupcake non-con games,
Yeah, they should
Yeah.
schedule someone
like,
outside.
from, like an SEC or a Big Ten.
Yeah.
Like Alabama should schedule.
See,
I
that'd
don't wanna
be
say
better
Clemson,
than-
but, like Alabama should schedule Miami, and then Clemson should go out and schedule Baylor or something like that instead of Portland
Well,
State. Or
Yeah,
something
I know.
like
That's
that.
what just.
Well, Alabama used to do that, a few years ago. They
Yeah, Duke and Michigan. Woohoo.
well they did Michigan, and then I think one year they did
Duke.
Yeah.
they did
Did Michigan? Yes.
they did Wisconsin.
Usually, every so often, you could play a harder team outside of your conference.
Anyways, I think the first game of the year should be against a non-conference good opponent.
Yeah, I agree.
Not a
Yeah,
cupcake.
I don't know about the first game. The first game could be a cupcake, but you know how they're usually midway through the season. There's that non-conference game.
No, screw it.
There
Jump
just
right
needs
in.
to be.
Just jump right in.
There
Why
needs to
not?
be a tough game on that schedule. Instead of, I don't understand. It could be better for the players to get healthier because they ain't got to play the whole game. But it's hard to sit there and go, okay, Oklahoma's the real deal because they beat everybody in their conference. Okay, well that's impressive, but who do they beat? Who can sit there and go against another team? So that's why I think I don't I know everybody's like, you should put the conference champion in. Yes, they deserve to be in, which the extended playoff would be better. But I'd rather see the 4 best teams going head to head than to watch a freaking one-loss Oregon team come in and just get destroyed. Like Notre Dame comes in and gets destroyed.
Yeah.
What's the point of that? That's the team who, last year LSU played Oklahoma. I wish LSU would have played another a Georgia team, or no, we did play Georgia. I mean, a Florida, because we played Florida really good. Florida, I think, deserved that spot more than freaking Oklahoma did, but Georgia was a 2-loss team. But still, I'd rather someone play harder teams than to get there, because that's basically a bye. You're gonna go in there, destroy them, and then you're healthy. The other side, they're not, because they're going at it.
Yeah. Well, transitioning into my question, it stays with the playoffs. Do you think, mainly for this year, but also ever, do you think a non-Power 5 team will ever make playoffs?
No. There's no. They deserve it. I understand, but they're gonna get destroyed.
Well, I mean, I'm seeing I agree with you. I'm just saying. I'll just play devil's advocate. So a team like UCF or Memphis or somebody like that, or even Louisiana, they're 2-0. They were ranked 19. They got knocked out even though they won
I
because
know.
of the Big Ten getting ranked. But we can get to that later. But a team like UCF, when they beat Auburn 2 years ago.
Okay, but that's the same year they also played LSU, and then they got destroyed by LSU. So the thing,
No, that was a different year.
No, that was the year right after that.
Yeah,
Auburn.
I was
But
saying
yes,
they went undefeated.
But
They beat,
the thing you also got to look at.
they beat Auburn, who beat Alabama.
But I think
who won the
Auburn.
national championship.
I think Auburn had some people out though. I don't think they had.
I think
all
they
the-
just didn't want to be in that.
I
game
mean, that's
because
the thing though.
They thought they deserved to be in the
Yeah.
championship or in the playoffs. So
I mean,
I agree with you.
That's the
but
thing. Do you think Auburn actually went there full scout, this is what we're gonna do, or you think Gus was we don't care, and then
no,
they
I
just
mean,
went
Gus,
in there,
Gus probably not, but the players were probably unmotivated.
and then they beat Auburn. That's awesome. But then the next year they go undefeated, and then they play against LSU, who LSU wasn't the LSU that they were yet, and they just put the hammer down on UCF.
I just asked because all those years ago when Boise State would make the BCS national championship, I just didn't know if maybe since there's a playoff now, it's not even the national champion, maybe a non-power.
You're talking about when they were actually good.
But I'm saying they didn't play anybody though.
Yeah, you're right.
So I was just I didn't know if maybe UCF, Cincinnati, Memphis.
You're forgetting one, even though we hate them.
Who?
Notre Dame.
They're in the ACC.
Notre Dame's gonna get destroyed.
Well, they're independent, and
No, they're in the ACC.
they are now.
Their football team is
Their
in the
football
ACC.
team is in the ACC.
I don't think they're independent in
I
basketball.
thought it was basketball.
No,
No, they-
basketball I don't
ACC.
think it's independent. I don't
No,
think
I
they're
think they're
baseball.
both. I think they joined the ACC.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. But my thing, I mean,
Yeah, it's
you just never know. That's,
UCF's the closest one, I think. It's either UCF or maybe Memphis.
But the thing is, you just can't predict if they're gonna go in there and actually do good. With
know.
expanding the playoff, yes, that would be the best bet because then you can get them to actually, play someone, and then the other team not looking like.
Yeah.
But you put a Memphis team in, last year, were they undefeated, or do they?
No, they were. Who did they always play? It was Memphis and who?
They played SMU, right?
No, it was another team. I mean, yes, but it was Memphis and I felt like another team. But like the non-power 5, I know they don't like, they're not.
They just don't have opportunity.
But like that's the thing. With their scheduling, you go back to scheduling. Alabama, Clemson, all these big schools, they have a chance to schedule each other because that brings in money. Memphis can't go out to Alabama and be like, hey, we want to schedule you for a home and away. Like,
they could.
They could, but they're most likely going to say no. It's like the best you can get is a UCF, or they can't. They're not going to go to Miami or Clemson and be like, hey, we'll schedule you for a home and away, or heck, we'll come and play you at Clemson both times. Like, they don't have that luxury because that's not going to draw as many viewers as if Clemson was like, hey, Georgia, play us week 2.
Yeah.
So that's like that's the unfortunate thing.
I think like when we go back to the scheduling, I think maybe they should, put like, okay, non-power 5s, go get these games, like the good ones, like Memphis and UCF, but they don't. They don't go out and, try to get it. Instead, they could do it, and then, let's say UCF goes and plays Clemson week 2. They go and beat Clemson, they go undefeated. UCF deserves to be in the playoffs because they just beat Clemson, who, is probably going to be in top 2 team, top 3 team.
Yeah.
So they deserve it, even though they didn't play anybody, but they played Clemson, and they show that they're there. I mean, then boom, put them in.
Yeah.
But if they're going to go and play all these teams that like just, are not good, that's going to finish, about 500 or less, I mean, what's the point? You don't know if they're going to go in and lose like 90-0. I mean, no one wants to see that. So that's not money coming their way.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
They lost to Temple last year.
Oh.
Was that
Temple?
who you're
No, I felt like they played somebody twice.
Was it Tulsa?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, that's who it was?
Yeah,
okay,
they played Cincinnati at the end of the year, and then they played them in their conference.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, like I said, we'll just have to wait and see. You can't make everybody happy. So that's
I mean, until they can, I guess, start thinking, what can we do to, please everybody? And the only way to please everybody is to tell teams, like, you're not going to get in unless you schedule these games. Yeah. Like some opponents that usually make it, because you got Clemson, Ohio State, and Alabama are your 3 teams that's most likely going to make it for a good little bit, because all 3 coaches are really freaking good and they know how to win.
Right.
And the only team out of those 3 that I think that I don't like that does deserve it, but still they don't, is Clemson, because Clemson don't really play a lot of people. But when they do play people, they go off.
They win.
So that's why you got to respect them. I mean, they're going to play no one, but what are they going to do when they go play? They go play Alabama. They beat Alabama.
Yeah.
They beat Ohio State, and that was a good game. But you're going to have to. Expanding the playoffs is the 100% route they need to go, but they won't go because of more games than player safety.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so like a wrap up question. Like we kind of hit on it at the Big Ten schools all getting ranked. Do you think it was okay for them to go ahead and rank? Because I don't think they play for another couple weeks, and teams like Marshall, Louisiana, Virginia Tech, they all won, and they all got knocked from the rankings.
Well, all the SEC teams were still ranked high whenever they weren't playing, when the other teams were.
Yeah, but
are you talking about coming in?
We started a week after.
Okay, so them coming in, no, I don't think they deserved it until after they proved themselves. I mean, 2-0 Louisiana team. I mean, they deserve to be in top 25.
And like Oregon got ranked.
Oregon just lost, didn't they?
No, they haven't played yet.
They haven't? I
So
think they lost.
something that I thought they could do, and like the meantime, what I just thought of is like they could have their preseason rankings tied with these teams instead of knocking them out. Now, would they ever do that? Probably not, but it's just one of those years where it's kind of weird that they could have done, but I know they probably didn't want to have a tie with teams being ranked all weird.
Actually, UCF could actually prove themselves this year, because they do play Memphis and they do play Cincy.
Okay,
2 decent opponents.
Yeah, I believe. Well, I think they're all in the same. Aren't they all in the same?
Yeah,
now?
I know, but I feel like they didn't play each other.
But
I
don't like it either. I don't like how they just went ahead and ranked the Big Ten opponents. But
I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of it, because
it's not going to.
In all reality, Louisiana, Virginia Tech, maybe, but Louisiana, Marshall are the big ones. Like, are they better than BYU, Michigan, Wisconsin, Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State? No. So it doesn't necessarily bother me too much, but it does kind of suck for Louisiana, who kind of crept into the rankings. And
yeah, they're going to be like
they get knocked out.
SMU or Baylor from last year.
Yeah,
probably.
see, you have Michigan who went to 23. You have Wisconsin that went to 19th. Oregon went to 14th. Penn State went to 10. That was the highest. And OSU, they actually dropped down to 6. They were 4. Notre Dame is 5 right now.
No, that was 4 receiving votes for number 1.
Oh, that was 4. Okay, I thought that was like.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that was the last one.
But that was just kind of something to knock off. And the biggest drops are, of course, OU and LSU. OU dropped 15 spots to 18, and LSU dropped 14 to 20. So we'll be
I don't know. The rankings this year is just going to be a little weird.
Yeah,
But I think this year you really got to look at strength of schedule. I don't think you can look at who's undefeated.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I think that'll do it for this episode. Like I said, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you know when our podcasts are dropping. Also, smash that like button. Drop comments below on the Kyle Trask and KJ Costello debate. Who's gonna have the better year? And
share this with your friends and family.
Yeah, of course. If you made it this far, we appreciate you. And until the next episode, see you later.
But yeah, have fun.
Bye.